coming from. Ladies first, as usual.
Okay, hello everyone. I'm Margaret Njoki. This is my husband. I'm summoning in here in Nairobi Church. We say summoning, but it is Mrs. Pastor. I'm happy to join you today. It's my first time. Hope you are going to fellowship together and enjoy this moment. Thank you.
Okay. Hello viewers. My name is Pastor Luke Shuri from Good News Mission Church. I'm so privileged to have this show with you. I hope you are going to enjoy our story as we try to learn one or two lessons about life.
Okay. Welcome, husband and wife. It is a privilege to host, a pastor and his wife. I've met many people, especially on social media, who were not willing to share their stories one-on-one or live. So a lot of people prefer to talk big and huge on social media and probably even say things that are not their lives. But when you task people to talk about their life and love story, they shrink and retreat. So I'm glad and congratulations for coming on board to freely talk about your love story. I know ladies have a lot of words to say, and at this time, I don't mind starting with you, Margaret. Where did you grow up? How was it growing up for you until you got to the point of getting married? And did you choose him? Did he choose you?
Okay, if I may say, that was 202. Mm-hmm. 202, I was working somewhere. And then when I was working there, we were using charcoals and also firewood to cook. So that time we had no firewood. So I just went. I didn't know where I was going to look for firewood. Then I found this boy there. So I asked him, hey, please. I asked him, can you help us with some firewood? He said, yes. But before even I asked for firewood, I say hello to him. But he was so high in mind that even he did not say hello to me. Mm-hmm. Just say, okay, you can take, and just left. So I took firewood. I was having another sister. And then I went back home. So another day, I went there again to look for firewood. Mm-hmm. But I found her mother. His mother was so furious. Who told you to go get firewood here? Mm-hmm. So I didn't know if he was the man of that house or he was just a son. So I said, the father of this house allowed me to take firewood. Then I was, go away, I don't want to hear anything about you. Just go. Then I just went. So also I was looking for milk. So I heard, there is a brother called Shuri. He has a lot of cows. You can go and buy milk from him. So after 3 days we met again. And I told him, your mother was so angry with me. And she chased me away. Say, I don't want to see you here. Say, okay, don't worry. Okay, another time when the mother will be not there, you will come and I can give you some firewood. Mm-hmm. Then I told him to be selling milk for me. Then he was so strict that he cannot add even little milk. When he measured that cup, he cannot add any. Mm-hmm. But I told him, hey, you need to add me, even just kidogo or little. Mm-hmm. At least you can welcome me as your new customer, isn't it? Mm-hmm. He said yes. Then he was saying, this girl. No one who has persisted like that, I should add milk. Everyone know me that I don't add any milk. Then he start selling milk for me. And then slowly, I start falling in love with him. Mm-hmm. But because I was a Christian, so I feared, because I was telling God, please help me not to do this mistake. Maybe I can fall in someone's heart who is not the right person. Mm-hmm. So I was praying, God, please, God, help me. Even if it's to love, let me just only love the person that surely he is serious and he wants to marry me. So after that, where I was working, I was not comfortable. So I told him, maybe I will quit the job. Then before that, I remember, he was so kind to me. He said, I see you are here, I'm not very smart. You take 300 and go and make your hair. So I took the 300. But I said, I don't know. maybe he may ask me to pay these 300 in another way. So I said, let me just keep that 300 and I want to watch him. I want to listen to him. In case he has some jokes which are not good, then I'll just give him his money because seriously I feared. Because where I was raised in a poor family. So I was feeling, in case I get pregnant, who will raise the baby? Also, my mother is poor. Also, educating us is a problem. So, really, I had that fear. Also, in the church, our pastor was telling us, if you commit such a sin, God will curse you. So I had that fear. So I was just waiting for him so I could hear, he's a good boy. Yeah, he's a good man. I would like to, maybe, if possible. So I went home. Then I came back to visit him. When I visited him, he started asking me, do you read novels? In which secondary school did you go? In which university did you go? He was like, Jesus, you know me, I didn't go even for that university, even I didn't finish my secondary school. But I was thinking, which is the best secondary? So I guessed. So, that time, I was even looking for novels and even dictionaries to look for grammars. Yani maneno ya juu. So if we meet, he can see I'm a woman of a standard. Because you want a woman of a very high standard. Do you read novels? For what? Do you read magazines? Do you read newspapers? I was like, Jesus, all these things. So he wants this kind of a woman who read novels. If you don't read novels, how do you do about life? How can you know how the world is going on? So I went, I found my mother. I told my mom, yes, I have found a very good man. He seemed to be good. He's born again. But the kind of questions he is asking me, I reminded my mom, do you know Uncle Bill? We have an uncle. He's so much educated such that if you go to his house, they are full of magazines and the newspapers and novels. He has even degrees. So the kind of man I found, he wants such kind of a woman of high degree.
And that was not your level.
Yeah, but I lied to him. I told him I went to the best university. I went to the best secondary school. Then I was looking for dictionary to look for grammars and big
vocabularies.
Yeah, because he wants someone who is, I like him, but what can I do? Then he was asking me, for how many years have you been saved? Because I cannot marry a woman who has been saved for 2 years. I cannot.
So his standard was so high. The bar was so raised.
Yeah.
Hey, Pastor Luke, I thought pastors have a merciful heart. They're very kind. They want to help the poor. They want to love people who have been forsaken by society. They're not looking for great and big things. They want small things so that they can make them and turn them into big things. How come you are very strange?
Well, I would say
your upbringing?
It's somehow like a deception. Being high-minded.
Okay.
Being too ambitious. And it's time now I'm realizing those were just ambitions, which I could rate myself very high. And that's why I stayed so many years without getting married, because of the high standard. I want somebody who is educated of my level. The minimum I would say, I cannot marry somebody who is not going beyond A-level, should be an A-level college. So this standard, wherever I go, I look at the standard, then I could see a smart girl. But when I hear of the standard, that's why I was interrogating. Which school did you go? So if you hear it is Wanjinga High School, then you know, no, that is out. So
Wanjinga High School.
I was very sensitive about the external features. And that gave me a lot of problems because I married when I was 35 years. So that was a big problem which it's time now I'm realizing it was a deception within me because I've lost her because of those abortions. So it's time now I'm correcting myself and also praying for young people not to be like me because they will really waste time. Not only to focus on issues about life, not about those external things like education, physical features, those kind of things. In fact, I even failed one, I don't know how I compromised because the kind of a woman I wanted, a brown one, the nose should not be broad.
Or flat.
Yes. I needed somebody
American.
decent. Yeah, that angel within, yani that ideal woman in the mind. Only now to find this one. It's only that I don't know what happened, but we are now together for the last 20 years. That's all I can say.
An interesting intro of your journey, because people actually set standards. There's no one who is growing up without any ambitions. There's no one who is growing up without expectations. Actually, people are usually told to write down what they want in a woman and what they want in a man, you know. So, Maggie, you met this guy and he had raised the bar so high. Did you personally have any ambitions or expectations that you wanted from a man?
As for me, I just wanted a serious man. Also, I didn't have those ambitions because furthermore, I'm not so much educated.
Yes, you're poor.
I don't come from a rich family. So I just want someone who is serious. I don't want those boys who just play keyboard. They are just in the church, but they are not saved. So I feared a lot. So I wanted just someone who can love me and someone we can go on with life together. I was finishing my story when I went and told my mom the kind of a man that he is and the kind of a woman that he wants. So when we met another day, I said it's not good to lie. If he marry me, thinking I'm this kind of a woman of very high standard, and maybe later he come to realize I'm not the kind of a woman, maybe our marriage will break. So I went to him, I told him, let me tell you the truth. Even I didn't go for college. I didn't go for those university. I even didn't finish my secondary school. So that is the kind of a woman I am. So if you're willing, you can accept me. And if you feel I'm not of your standard, maybe you can just quit. By that time, he say, no, I'm sorry. Already I've fallen in love with you. We can continue and we can do the wedding. So from that time, he start preparing for the wedding.
Wow. Pastor Luke, how did you get to lower your standard? Do you mean love can be that stronger than ambition and focus?
Yeah, my past experience, I almost married before I met her. But my first preparation for marriage broke. And it broke in a way that left some injuries in my life and distrust of a women. And from the time now my first marriage failed, I had some resentment. I mean, I could not trust women. And in fact, I could even begin now to say, I'll never marry. I want to go through the journey of life just like that. And even when I met her, the mind to marry her was completely not in my mind. It's only that now when even as I was preparing for marriage, because although I did not have the heart for women, but I had the mind to marry one day. So following that kind of frustration, my heart began now to break that I don't want to look for a woman out of external features or academic or life. So I focus on only one thing, that I need a life partner that we are going to flow in the line of Christian life, preaching the gospel, that we can flow in that area. So the standard of the external standard, I dropped.
Okay.
So when I met her,
After a disappointment.
After disappointment.
You lowered your standards.
Yes, almost.
So disappointments can be that good. They can make you to rethink.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember, there was a lot of injury because, as I had even said before, I had paid the dowry and prepared the place for marriage. I had done everything. And the shame that went along with it, the family members, the friends. So the issue of being ambitious was crushed. So when I met her, and I could tell she's a decent lady, she can express herself, she has the promise of God in her soul, and especially she can push me. I needed somebody who can push me. So when I could say, hey, me, I don't want to add anybody milk, then she could say, why? You can't. So that kind of persistence was the first thing that made, I would wish a woman that can persist and insist. You know,
one funny thing is men don't like to be pushed. They don't like pressure. But you see, this thing that they don't like, looked at in a different way, it is a thing that they also like.
Yes.
You know, it's the other thing that they also like. So they just say, I don't like women who do this. But when they actually get that right woman who does that, you know, looked at it differently, that is what works for them. Because I don't know whether you were able to notice his kind of personality then. This is a guy who is a no-nonsense person. His standard is here. He's not going to settle for anything less. If he has said 1 liter is this, he's not going to give you 10 ml extra. It's just 1 liter. So he's doing his calculations, and you can see the organization and the way this person is so planned. You know, he does not want interference. How did that work for you? Because according to me, it was supposed to scare you a little bit. Like, hey, how about if we cook 1 kg of rice? He would expect that to eat this 1 kg of rice twice, and then we eat all of it. What is going to happen to that? Did you have certain fears that if he gives me 500 shillings, I will have to give the math? I bought tomatoes for 100, I bought bread for 100, and this is the balance. Did you have such kinds of fears when you saw his character?
I didn't have. Let me just say, I think it's just my character of liking to push someone, and I want to know him better. So by doing that, if I push him, I had this in mind. I can know him better. I can know how he reacts. I can see if he can open his heart to me. Just by adding that little milk, I could see now you are inside the box. And you go down your box because I have winged your heart. Because he's so serious. You
have made him relax.
Yeah. Even after we stayed maybe 1 week without meeting. And then he came. He said, I have missed a lot. Then I asked him, if you have missed a lot, why don't you give me a hug? Then he was like, oh, Jesus. He could not, because he was so spiritual. He was like...
that time he was not a pastor.
No, he was not a pastor, but he was so spiritual in his village. Everyone knew him. And then I could say, so through that and trying to do something to open his heart, also I could see, he's a good boy. He can marry.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow. So when did you become a pastor?
I would say 202, in those days when I had not joined Good News Mission, that was allowed 202, 203. That's the time I became a pastor.
Okay. And that time you had married her?
That's the time after marriage, we were ordained and become pastors.
Wow.
Yes.
So how has it been being a pastor and a wife doing ministry together in the church? You know, most pastors' wives, from what I have heard, they are most frustrated women because they go through challenges as well, and they have nowhere to vent. They have no one to cry to. All the women in the congregation come to them. Pastor's wife, my husband did. So pastor prays for people. He asks for people who have problems. you know, and people are supposed to go, and he's supposed to pray for them. But you, the pastor's wife, you also have problems in marriage, you know, and you have no one to go to because you fear what people are going to say. Yes. How has that journey been for you?
Me?
Yes.
Oh, let's say after we got married, of course there are challenges. There are challenges, but as for us, maybe if we could have some quarrel or fighting, I was going to his sister and speak with his sister. But this husband of mine, he has been so good, such that if we fight, as for me, I could not say sorry. If we fight, I go up and he go up. But when he see I'm very angry, he go down. Even before the sister come and ask, what is happening? Why are you fighting? Why life is like this? So already he go down and he could discuss. He was the one who could go down and try to make me happy and make sure when I could be angry, I don't want to talk. My answering only yes and no. Yes, no. Finish. I don't want to speak anything. So when he could see, maybe he was so spiritual than me. He couldn't go down. Oh, darling, what's the problem? Oh, when he asked me what's the problem, now I can talk and we can fellowship and we can go you can go on with life. So maybe that sister come the next day. Yes, Margaret told me you have problem here. Problem here? We have no problem. We don't have any problem. I had a big problem here. No problem. Already we have solved. So we have been like that. And also in 2009, we joined Good News Mission. So he's one who joined first in the college, Mahanaim Bible College. It was 2009 January. So when he joined, also on February I joined. So we were listening the gospel together. So we could listen the gospel together. So even one time, a pastor preached about donkey. If donkey is angry, donkey cannot cry with a low voice. Just cry, shouting. And that time we are reading about that we are like donkeys. The Bible, when the Bible say about donkey, represent us. So also not unless that donkey, if you want that donkey to live, you need to give a lamp, and that lamb should die for that donkey to live. So I remember that day, I don't know what happened, but there was some quarreling. So I became very angry. So he asked me, darling, do you know God want to bless us so much? Darling, do you remember the sermon where pastor was preaching to us? We are like donkeys. Darling, I'm also like a donkey. You don't know? I'm also like a donkey. I was just making noise, but I'm so sorry. So he started preaching to me, and he told me, also, you know, you are also a donkey. Donkey cannot cry slowly. No, donkey cry. Loudly. So, and he told me, you darling, I'm so foolish. I'm foolish. So if my husband say I'm foolish, I cannot continue to be angry. So that I cannot afford to be angry continuously. Because he reminds me, so he lower his heart so down. So we have been living like that. We fight, but anyway, let me say I'm a bit arrogant. Many times he's the one who go down.
Pastor Luke, you know, there's the expectation of the man is the head of the house, and the woman is supposed to submit, you know. Where do you get, I don't know if it is the wisdom or the change of the order, the normal order, that you were the one who quickly goes down, as she has said, instead of the other way?
Okay. You know, when you are a pastor, there is that image that you already have outside in the society, and also that godly fear within you, realizing that you are accountable to God. So every time there is a misunderstanding, there are so many things to consider. Supposing now I flow in this direction, how is the outcome? I'm the person who is going to suffer. Because actually, it is the man who owns the woman. It's not the woman who owns the man. So every time there is that grace that I'm able to reason very fast, that when we throw in this direction, I'm the one who is going to be in trouble. And then when we came to Good News Mission, and we could now hear the word of God, the word of God we could hear, we could always discuss. And every time she goes astray, I could come up with a word that, hey, what are you talking about? You cannot remember when we were in college what Pastor so taught us. So this could become the situation. And also, every time she had an issue, she could come to me and challenge me with the word that she could hear. So I want to say that we received special grace that when I came to Mahanaim, she was also attracted to Mahanaim immediately. So we did not have that struggle that I don't want to go, I don't want to believe. So we had that kind of oneness and singleness of the heart. We could flow in the same direction in life. We want to preach the gospel. So that harmony will always make us overcome this misunderstanding that are always arising in our family. So we did not have those conflict, internal conflict. We could overcome very easily. Yes, so that's why we are able to overcome.
Wow, beautiful couple. We are taking a short break. You're coming back just now. Viewer, we are talking about the love story of this couple, Margaret and Luke. Keep tuned in. We are coming back just
Echo Music right here on your number one TV station, GBS TV. My good name is Hypolar the Experience. You can call me Moja Safi. Ukumanza the best TV ever. Lafu shoni gani Echo Music SMS line 21144.
Tunakuchezea zile ngoma mpya zenye zimekuwa zikitokea hii wiki.
Anytime ulizia vila God nikulia na wakinigeuzia I know you got me girl, yeah you got me girl.
Kautamu Likiza maneno nasikia kautamu
Ati wanauliza gospel imedu Bisa CMT we have to do Skiza. So Bible now we hand so we physically, spiritually, lyrically, mentally
Leo manze tuko na wasanii wa Delhi ndani ya nyumba. Tuko na muziki kali, tuko na countdown kali. Yaani kila kitu leo iko fresh. Chukua sharubati, hiyo ni juice hapo, mpaka mguju ya meza.
Triple.
Yeah.
Tumia mtu salamu pale mali unakulanga chapo dondo.
Nani mimi? Walifunga.
This is Talk to Rosemary Njage Show. I am your host, Rosemary Njage. This is a place where we host different choirs, different praise and worships, different bands, different worshipers.
We
are so much blessed.
There is a God in heaven.
Amen.
He's a God in heaven who answers all of our prayers.
Your talents and your gifting shall open doors.
But I'm going to do this, dedicating it to Christ. And that's how I wrote Nachotaka.
Haja ya moyo wangu, Yesu. Haja ya moyo wangu.
How do you go about composition of your music?
Everything that I sing inakuwa ni my life.
Neema yako Yesu, Baba yanitosha. Nikiwa nawe mimi niko huru.
Yale umetenda Baba, yote ni makuu.
There are many problems in Kenya. Who is to blame? Is there hope for sanity? What is even sanity in the first place? GBS TV brings you the Insight Show, dissecting on politics, governance, justice system, education, economy, amongst myriad of current affairs. Join Eugene Ocheng and his panelists every Friday from 9 p.m. here on GBS TV in the analysis of issues affecting you.
Echo Mziki right here on your number one TV station, GBS TV. My good name is Hypola the Experience. You can call me Moja Safu. Ukumanza the best TV ever. Lafu shoni gani Echo Mziki SMS line 21144.
Tunakuchezea zile ngoma mpya zenye zimekuwa zikitokea hii wiki.
Anytime ulizia vila God nikulia na wakinigeuzia I know you got me God, yeah you got me God.
Kautamu nikisa maneno nasikia kautamu
ati wanauliza gospel imedu bisa CMT we have to do skiza so Bible now we hand so we physically spiritually lyrically mentally
Leo manze tuko na wasanii wa daily ndani ya nyumba. Tuko na muziki kali, tuko na countdown kali. Yaani kila kitu leo iko fresh. Chukua sharubati, hiyo ni juice hapo, mpaka juu mguju ya meza.
Triple.
Yeah.
Tumia mtu salamu pale mali unakulanga chapo dondo.
Nani mimi? Walifunga.
This is Talk to Rosemary Njagi Show. I am your host, Rosemary.
Kenya, who is to blame? Is there hope for sanity? What is even sanity in the first place? GBS TV brings you the Insight Show, dissecting on politics, governance, justice system, education, economy, amongst myriad of current affairs. Join Eugene Ocheng and his panelists every Friday from 9 p.m. here on GBS TV in the analysis of issues affecting you.
Everywhere, GBS.
Welcome back, viewer. I have Mr. and Mrs. Luke sharing with us their love story. And so being a pastor and a pastor's wife, you definitely have challenges, and I'm wondering whether you have, a mentor, people, when you are the ones who wed people and tell people what to do when they get into marriage. And pastors' wives have also had many issues. They have gotten to the place where they are suffering from distrust because a woman in the church has come to explain to your husband, all the things that are affecting her in her marriage, and sometimes you are not there. Pastor has gone to their house to solve a case, and sometimes the husband is not there. So there have been those issues of distrust, in a marriage. What if, this woman looks to be so sly, she looks very cheeky, she looks like she can be a husband snatcher, There's so many challenges that as a pastor's wife you go through when you do ministry with this kind of mixed setup. What has been some of yours?
In the ministry, yes, especially when I was in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. Yeah, some women could come and tell me their problems. So we could sit down and discuss and also pray together. And especially also I could give them my testimony, my lifestyle. Because in life, someone, if the husband and the wife, all of them they are angry, or all of them they are high mind, they cannot stay together. So one must go down. Yeah, if maybe the woman is reporting the man, we could also call the man and discuss together and see what is the problem. Because also, in fact, when, especially maybe if a woman go home because there are some problems at home, of course, she cannot say about her problem. She can only say, that man is so foolish, he did this, he did this, he did this. So in many cases, we want to listen to both parties, and we can discuss, and also we can guide them through the word of God, and also counseling, and after knowing their problem, also we can teach them about marriage and how they can go on with life, and then they can go on with life. Yeah.
Okay, Pastor Luke.
Yeah, when we have the challenges of, say, couples having difficulties and hardships, we always had the responsibility to guide them to overcome that. And I remember one time we had one sister who was married by a Muslim. And this Muslim actually did not care at all. She could just come at home, late at night, he want to eat, he goes. So these sisters, even most times she could come to eat to the church. Because of that, this sister had a lot of problems and a lot of complaints. So every time she could come to the church or even Bible study or fellowship, she could always wear a very sorrowful face that now I have no hope, this husband is like this, always full of complaint, a chain of complaint coming. So we could pray and pray, but nothing could change. So one time, as we were leading, we were having a fellowship in the morning, a word of God just came into my soul. I remember it was being the book of Proverbs 22 verse 17, which says that a merry heart, when your heart is happy, and when you are loving, when you are happy, inside you can have strength can come out of you. So I started telling her, now, the only solution you can do to overcome this is now to listen to what the Word of God says, such that you need to be happy. And I started telling her, can you give a smile? Can you laugh? Can you laugh like chicken? When chicken, hen, when it give birth or when it lay a egg, it started laughing, quack, 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 quack. And I said, can you start laughing and just overcome that by laughing? Just laugh it off. Then I started teaching her about that. When your husband comes, just laugh. And by that, you are going to have some strength coming from you. And when she began to listen to me, miraculously, strength came into her soul.
And her life began to change.
Imagine, and her life began to change.
You know, Pastor, people have also accused you pastors and pastors' wives that all you do is just Bible and listening to the sermons and doing spiritual life, you know. Do you have a social life? People don't find you. People know that, you know, in marriage, there is also fun. And there's a way to keep your husband, there's a way to keep your wife. And people say, when I met him, he was so good, he was so, you know, joyful, and there was so much fun. But nowadays, he has changed. Everybody is complaining. He changed nowadays. She changed, you know. She's just busy taking care of children and busy taking care of women in the church, you know, church issues. And this man is also just busy taking care of church administration, taking care of all church problems. And so you lack and forget about social life. So people accuse you of just being Bible men and women, and you have no life, and that is why you guys have separated, you know, in your homes. We only see you together in the church because the pastor is preaching, and this is the pastor's wife chair, so she has to come here and sit. Even though last night she was beaten, you know, last time she was denied, you know, all the things that she needs to have rightfully, even food. Last night nothing happened, but now because it is Sunday morning, this is her chair, she must sit here because of the way other people are going to judge her and victimize. When people don't see you together, they start wondering, hey, Pastor Luke, He's preaching there and the wife is sitting behind. We're not going to listen to this sermon, you know. You guys, do you have a social life? What is wrong and what happens in the pastor's community? Do you just read Bible? You don't watch any movies? You don't go out? How is your life?
Yeah. I would say that in one way or the other, what you're saying is true. But we also, the church gives us so many activities to break that system, because naturally that is the direction we feel like we should follow. Always the Bible, always the Bible. I remember in Tanzania, to break that, pastor gave us the responsibilities to start a kindergarten. And when we started the kindergarten, we started now having the small children. Then we could raise those children in a Christian way. I could have time with them. I could laugh with them. I could sing all the songs. So I could begin to become even, I've become a child again. So we could socialize again a lot. Then my wife could go with these children to every single house, because our children were the children that we had in our kindergarten. They learned how to speak English very fast. So when started speaking English and singing English songs, we could now use those children to go now advertising. So my wife could go and tell the children to go and sing head, shoulder, knees and toe, head, shoulder, knees and toe. And when they could dance and sing those songs, then the parents could now begin to be awakened. And within a very short time, we had so many children.
And you see that is in ministry, you know. Yes. But now, in your marriage, you know, pastors' marriages are done to be so dull. So dull. Yani ni kuamka tu kusoma Bible mchana, there's no marriage life going on. The only thing they do is rearing babies. You know, kuzaa na kulea. There's no love life. It is all spiritual and biblical life. Is that your life? Is that how pastors live? Because, you know, you can go out because you have been given an assignment to go and take the children out. But how about your own social life?
Yeah, many times, especially when we were in Dar es Salaam, we had social life that we could go to the beach. And because Dar es Salaam, there is a big beach there. Then we could go there and swim. And then after that, we could go to the market together and also socialize with the people around. So one of the areas that we used to have a lot, also go and have some sports. Go and have fun with the people outside.
Yes.
Although it's not too much, but at least there is those activities.
There's a balance.
There's that activities.
Yes.
Going out to just observing, just going around the town. And I would say that those activities are not much, because yes, our focus, wherever we go, we have that mind that we need to look for the lost souls. So it's a weakness that the many pastors that we do not focus so much on that. We are always engaged and connected to.
Until you forget your families. Maggie, what would you say?
Yes.
Do you sometimes feel like this guy is just so much lost in the Bible, just thinking about other people? He forgot that he has a wife and his own children.
Sometimes I push him a lot. Especially our culture is, especially eating, we take breakfast together and also lunch together. Sometimes dinner, many times we eat together, sometimes he's in the office. But surely, in this case, I push him a lot, because sometimes even maybe I'm watching a movie, he comes, hey darling, you're supposed to be watching Pastor Park and this and this. Hey, please. Every time Pastor Park, every time Bible. So he's slowly by slowly, yeah, I can see he's also moving on my side, because anyway, life is not only about Bible and like that. We need also to have our our lifestyle. We can be together like how we started before. In fact, I could remember even those days I could carry him with my back and start singing. We go to the sister and start singing another Kikuyu song. Like that. So I think I'm the one who loved him more. So I'm the one who is pushing him more on my side. On my side.
Do you feel like something has changed in the 20 years? If you were given a chance today and someone stood before you and asked you, Maggie, I know the kind of husband that you married, the way you were so madly in love with him, but along the line, within the 20 years, I feel like he changed in this and this. What is that you would like to be restored?
That's a bit tricky. Because if I remember actually, as he said, he loved me because of staying together and especially gospel. And also before we marry, I could say I don't want to marry a boy who has just gotten saved for 2 or 3 years. So I wanted someone who is spiritual, because I could see if people are saved, they can live happy life. Because even sometimes when we fight, we can go back quickly to the word of God. And also the word of God can help us to overcome. So being together and having this relationship through the word of God or through the church, I think is much better. Because through that, because in life, there are so many challenges. And those challenges can only be overcome through the word of God.
So there's nothing you feel he has lost, that if you're given a chance today, if someone was there with the power, you'd ask him to restore. He's still the same. He didn't change.
He's a good man.
He didn't change. Excellent. Good testimony. Pastor Luke, when you look at your wife today, is she the woman you married 20 years ago? The one who took care of you, the one who carried you on her back, the one who loved you and treasured you 20 years down the line? Do you feel that something has changed? That if it was within your power, then you would say, munirudishie.
I would say she has been a wonderful lady, so wonderful, such that she hasn't changed a lot. Only that maybe that aspect of the intensity, the degree, but
going down.
But the substance is still there. Only that maybe it can be activated. But she's charming. I love her. I am proud of her because I don't have complaint about my wife. Or even I'm saying, okay, if you are given a chance to look for another one, no. I feel she has
as a pastor, you cannot say that on air. As a pastor, you cannot say that on air because you fear your congregants, But usually in human, there's that one thing you say, if only my wife would get back to this that she was 10, 15, 20 years ago, I think I would be revived, If only my husband would restore this, then my life would be revived. Then I think I would be happier. But you guys don't have that.
Me, I would say that my wife has been improving day by day. Because she has just confessed that she was a radical. Like there is no way that she could even beg and say, I'm sorry. Because these days she can say, I'm sorry. So if she is improving, I would say she's even better than she was those days.
Wow.
Because at those days she could not apologize.
She could not say sorry.
Yes, I'm the one who was begging every other time. She's on the wrong, and still I'm the one who is going to beg for reconciliation. So me, I have no complaint about her.
Wow, wow. Maggie, what is the last words you want to say to the women, and not just the women, but the pastors' wives who are really frustrated in the ministry as they live with their husbands? As we close, less than a minute.
I would encourage them to continue with love, and also even doing ministry, they cannot do without their husband. So they need to overcome all areas
if there is any obstacles they need to overcome. And also maybe I would finish with one word, Numbers 14 verse 28. I've been overcoming my problems with this word. It says, just as God says to Israel, just as you have spoken in my healing, I will do so to you. So God is listening to us, what you are saying. If you say your husband is the best, God will make him to be the best. If you say these children are the problem, God will make them to be a problem. So you can confess and just be positive in all areas, and God will work.
Wow.
Yes.
Pastor Luke, your fellow pastors have been watching and they're wondering, you are the one who bends low?
Yeah, because the word that I have received, even from Good News Mission Church, has broken my heart, even to realize how much I cannot tame my wife or manage her. Just like I would remember the case of Potiphar. He surrendered everything to Joseph except his wife. So God gave me this grace that I could see, no, I cannot rule my wife. I don't have that power. So I could bed and realize that, no, let God manage my wife. Let me just be there, wait to see what God will do to her. So that's the secret, that I don't want to push her. I want to let the word of God work in her life. So that has been the secret, that even recently, my wife say, okay, if it were not for the church, we would not have lived this much. So there has been this grace that we receive every time we receive the word of God. Even though there has been some grudges that has been arising, they cannot bear the fruits. They are aborted before they bear any fruits of anger, bitterness, and resentment. So we are able to overcome because of this union, this unity, this harmony, that we have an innkeeper who is always chastening us, rebuking us, and helping us to realize ourselves. So that's the secret.
Wow.
Yes.
Excellent. It was amazing hosting you guys. I have loved your love story, and I hope that many people who have listened have been challenged, and they are reviewing and also checking on their lives. How do they live? How do they deal with their problems? Because many couples go through many problems. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you, viewer, for watching GBS TV. I have been with Luke and his wife. I hope you have loved the story. You could check this again on GBS TV Africa on YouTube and our Facebook channel. Thank you so much. My name is Betty. I have been your host. See you next time.